Hello. I thought I will address one of the issues which is unrelated to my recent previous videos. The title of this video is going to be How Can I See God? Or How Does a God Look Like? And the answer is kind of going to be complex, and I may need more than one video to answer this question. The question is kind of complex because we do not really have a clear-cut opinion or a concept about the God. For Christians, they call it Jesus or Son of a God. For Muslims, they call it Allah. And for Hindus, there are various deities or statues. And of course, ultimate God is referred to by various names. Whether it is Brahman or many other names. Conceptually, it may be just an energy. But this question is very simple. What is God? And how can I perceive God? The answer is kind of simple. The God will be what you want Him to be. We often use the terminologies, I was in trouble and XYZ showed up almost like a God. Or sometimes we say that somebody had an illness, the God acted through a physician's or surgeon's intellect or surgery and helped or healed. So we use the term God kind of loosely. Unfortunate problem is that sometimes we use it in a way that is not right or that could not be right. We often say that God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. And we still say, oh God, please come and help me. If He is there all over, pervading every little thing in the universe, how can He come? Because He's there. So He's going to be pervading everything. Anybody who is not pervading a place A can go to place B. But somebody who is pervading everything cannot move because there is no place to move to. So, other part of it is that we have humanized God. And so we often say, God is kind. God, please help me. God, have a mercy. God will punish him or punish her. And this is actually not right because we're giving human qualities to God. And then it becomes like God is like mafia. You worship Him, you bow in front of Him, you offer Him things, and then He's pleased and gives you a good life, lots of money, satisfying work, etc. So the question that always comes in is, how does God appear if truly we are desirous of seeing the God? And truly our desires must be very, very intense to see the God. There was this little story that I'm going to narrate. This particular guy, a disciple of one of the sages, was bothering the sage saying, I need you to show me the God. The sage answered that when the time is ripe, you will perceive Him. You will see Him. But he was bothering. So one day in the morning, when they went to the river for regular bath, this teacher or the sage held the head of the student or the disciple under the water. The disciple was trying to get away, trying to come out and breathe. After about a minute or so, he let him come out. He had already aspirated some water and was short of breath and was about to pass out. When he recovered, he said, why did you do that to me? The sage answered, do you remember how intense was your desire to breathe when your head was under the water? If your desire to breathe was that intense, then you found out a way to breathe. And the same way, if your desire to see the God is that intense, then you will see the God or you will perceive the God. In Indian or Hindu religion, we often say that God is beyond the perceptions of our body. But ultimately, we have only 5 senses, and we are going to perceive anything, it is going to be perceived through our 5 senses. So even though we say that there is a reflection of God in everyone, Christians say He created us in His own image. In reality, it is not the image, but it's the reflection or the image which is in our place. I can take a brief example like that of a mirror. The mirror which is in a frame, mirror is made out of glass, and there is a coating at the back of it to make it a mirror. So one could consider the frame as the physical body. The mirror itself is like an astral body, but to make it a mirror, the coating is done that is called causal body. So the causal body is the coating on the mirror, which makes glass into a mirror. Mirror itself is an astral body, and the frame is a physical body. So if you would reflect the sun into it, that particular sun can burn a paper with its heat, even though it is not a true sun. Or it can give you an image of the sun. Something similar to that could be said about looking at the self, the God, the reflect, the original, the one and only, the Brahman. By reflecting the sun image into the sun itself. Since we have our perception, when we go into a trance or TM or transcendental meditation, the way in which we are going to perceive the God is through our sense organs. So as we go deeper and deeper into these stages of samadhi, or deeper and deeper concentration into the meditation, we forget about the existence of mortal world. We still would be left with our senses to perceive him or her or the God. So we're going to hear some sounds. We're going to have visualize some of the things when we go into the deeper and finally become one with the God. So in a description in Patanjali Sutra Yoga, which is related to the Raja Yoga Sutra or meditation, it is described that when we ascend from the lowest chakra, which is coccygeal, to the highest one, we hear different sound. So when we are concentrating on coccygeal chakra, we hear sound of drone of honeybees. When our concentration ascends and it goes into the sacral or chakra, we start hearing a different sound, and that is like a flute. When we ascend higher into the higher chakra, which is related to the fire, or it's also called Manipur chakra, then we hear either a veena, which is an Indian string instrument, or like harp. Higher up, Anahat chakra, which is related to the air or the prana, we hear astral bell sound like a drawn om. The highest one on this particular ascending order is that which is Vishuddha chakra. It's related to the space or ether, and we hear the cosmic sound of om. So this is the perception. That's the first sound that was created, and this is the perception. So even though the God is without or beyond our perception, when we start perceiving him, only ability we have is to see, to hear. And this is the description of what we will hear if we are concentrating on different chakras and are successful in getting deeper and deeper levels of samadhi. But remember, God is only inside you, reflection, and he will guide you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope you enjoy it and subscribe.